video walkthrough on Coleman. We'll start in the back. You're pre-wired for a backup camera. No, it does not have a backup camera. That's just something you have to add later. If you want one, you can let someone know and we can try to get one installed. Today, they usually run anywhere from $300 to $700 depending on what kit you get. It does use power from your marker lights, so you need your running lights on your tow vehicle to be on for it to work. Water heater, super simple. Only thing you'll have to do when you get this is put your plug in the drain hole, get it threaded by hand, and then 15/16 is your socket size. Snug it down with that. If you want to use a socket, they also make a special tool for it you can buy. Don't over tighten it, it is a plastic thread. Once the plug is in, it'll fill up automatically whether you do it from your pump or from your city water. Then you can turn the water on and let it fill. Once it's filled, you'll be able to turn it on. Now, definitely recommend draining it after every trip. You don't want water to sit in there, it'll start to get stagnant. Before you pull your drain plug, crack your pressure relief. Water will squirt out, that's fine. Everything out here is designed to get a little bit wet. Once it stops squirting out, snap it closed, then you can take that plug out. If you neglect to do that pressure relief first, you're gonna get a bath. And if you've been running it, you're gonna get a hot bath. And I definitely recommend cleaning in here and in here quite often to make it last longer. Just so it doesn't catch anything, you know, on fire. Sometimes some spider webs will kind of create a larger flame and then it'll trip a sensor in there and it won't turn back on. Outdoor shower, you do have hot and cold out there. Unlock it, you just fold it down and you have a hot and cold knob, and then the shower comes out about 3 or 4 feet. Over here, cable inlet. If you're going somewhere that provides cable, you can hook up cable through there. Got your dump areas, your gray tank, you got your black tank. Your gray tank is your shower and your sink water, your black is your toilet water. Definitely recommend making sure these are all the way closed before you take your cap off. And then I do the black first, let that get dumped out, and then the gray, that'll flush the black tank water out of the hose so you don't have to carry it around like that. Then you can store it in your bumper cap, because these bumper caps come off. That's the perfect spot to store it. These do not come with a sewer hose. That's going to have to be a separate purchase. Fridge vent, just for airflow. Keep it clean in here. Clean it quite often, and then I recommend a couple times you're taking this panel off and cleaning back there as well. 30 amp shore cord. This is your shore cord. It'll come with the unit. They're about 25-30 feet long. You can pull them out like this, and then when you're done, you just stuff them in. And if you want it to look neat, close that. Kind of blocks anything from getting in there. Fresh tank, that's where you'll fill your onboard fresh tank. If you're using a fresh tank, you need to use a water pump to pull from that fresh tank. If you're using city, you don't need to use your water pump or anything like that. Definitely recommend just resting your hose in there. Don't try to jam it in there. Turn your hose on and let it fill. Monitor its progress from the monitoring panel. Don't wait till you hear water come squirting out everywhere to drain it. Oh, to drain it. Until you know when it's full. I'm gonna definitely, just like your water heater, definitely recommend draining it after every trip. You drain for it. It's right there. That way it's not sitting with water in it. So like I said, water heater, drain it after every trip. This, drain it after every trip, because if it's half full of water and you let it sit in there for weeks, it's gonna be smelly. City water, this is where you hook your hose up to. If they provide water, you won't need to use a pump or anything. It'll operate off of city water pressure. Exhaust for your furnace, just keep it clear. They do make a screen for these. They don't recommend you run them with the screen on, but I've seen people do it before. You just didn't hear it from me. Cleaning here good. A couple times a year, inspect it, make sure it's not dirty or anything like that, so your furnace can be operating at its highest efficiency. Oop, that's locked. Why is it locked? Well, because we like to lock it. Just so I can show you. Pass-through storage. Let's lock it back up for you. Put up here, good numbers, unloaded vehicle weight, right there, 4,848 pounds. Gross vehicle weight rating, cargo carrying capacity, whatnot. This is the most important number right here, 65 PSI. That's what your tires are filled through currently, and that's what you want to keep them off. Don't do what's printed on the tire, do what's printed over here. You got dual 20-pound cylinders. Whichever one it's pointing to, that's going to be the one it pulls from first on your regulator. If this one were to get emptied, it'll automatically switch to pulling from this tank. If this one were to be on, however, this doesn't rotate, indicating it's switched a tank. So keep that in the back of your mind. And then some people have it in the middle, thinking it's going to pull from both tanks equally. It doesn't work that way. It's one or the other. Group 24 RV marine grade battery. It's a brand new battery. We never keep batteries on new units on the lot. In the winter, I recommend taking your battery completely out, storing it somewhere warmer, like your garage, your basement, anything warmer, just sitting outside all winter. And then if it's going to be a long time between trips, we recommend disconnecting the negative lead off of your battery to keep anything from using it while you're away. Got a power tongue jack, makes getting it on and off of your vehicle heck of a lot easier. Then you have a light up here too. 7-way, this will get hooked to the back of your tow vehicle, so the brakes on the trailer and the running lights and the turn signals all work. Got a breakaway here, hook this up to your truck as well. That hooks to this pin, that box with a pin in there. If this would ever come unhooked from your truck, it's going to pull that pin out of the box, activate the brakes on the trailer, lock them up, keep you from rolling into traffic or from rolling into the back of you. Over here you are pre-wired for solar. All you gotta do is buy the Furrion brand solar kit, and all that does is charge your batteries. It just trickle charges your batteries off of a solar panel. Got power stabilizing jacks. The back ones are the same as the front ones, and the front ones are the same as the back ones. So we'll just demonstrate these ones and you'll get the idea. These are stabilizing jacks. These are not leveling jacks. So one will hit, then the other one will hit. Snug down and then stop. Do not try to lift the trailer up with these. These are stabilizing jacks. If you try to lift the front end the front end of it up, you're gonna amp out the motor, you'll trip that self-resetting breaker, and then you'll have to wait for it to reset. If that breaker were to fail for any reason, and you just kept trying to pick up the front end of this trailer because you're not listening, you can't read that it says stabilizer, not leveler, and you're gonna bend, you might amp the motor out, ruin it, you might bend one of these legs. If that were the case, that's not warrantable, that's customer damage. You'd have to pay to get these jacks replaced. And I say all that because I want people to know how to use their stuff right. If you want your trailer to be level, you use your tongue jack to get it level front to back. And if you want it level side to side as you're backing into the campground, you figure out which side is the lower side, back it under some blocks on your tires, onto some blocks on that side. Load over here, GFCI outlet. All your GFCI outlets are on the same circuit. If this one would have tripped, all the connected GFCI outlets would trip as well. You do got some storage back here for some larger items. And then the back jacks look the same as the front ones. So we'll come on into the inside. Open this up. These are nice. I love these more. Oh, these are the Lippert brands, but they actually make contact with the ground, so they're not like a trampoline like the old style steps. I'm gonna turn this radio off so y'all can hear me, and we'll come back to the radio in a bit. All right. So, this panel controls all the major appliances. We'll start with the monitoring panel. You can read your fresh, your black, your gray. You don't have a second gray, so ignore gray 2, but you do have a gray 1. Your battery is always going to read full when you're plugged in. Then you have your controls for your water heater on gas. It's strictly gas, but that's more than plenty. Once it's done, the burner's heated the water to its preset temperature. Your burner will shut off, and then as you call for more hot water, it'll cycle on and off. Water pump, pretty self-explanatory. If you're going to pull from your fresh tank, turn your water pump on. You have exterior lights, does your awning lights, and then interior lights do your interior lights. Awning, super simple. Hit extend, and guess what? It extends. It just does not automatically stop when it's all the way out, so you have to visually look. They are adjustable for pitch. So if you grab here, you can pitch one end down and have water run off to the corner if you had it out when it's raining, rather than all the way along the edge. If it is storming real bad, big heavy gusts of rain, wind and rain, roll your dang awning back in. You don't want the wind to rip your awning fabric or for the arms to be bent. And just like your leveling jacks, if you come in and say, hey, my awning fabric is torn. It was like that. These fabrics don't just tear for no reason. You usually have to leave them out in the wind or you do something wrong. So just keep that in mind. If it starts getting really windy, roll it back up. If you roll it in wet, as soon as it gets sunny out, as soon as you get the chance to roll it back out, let the water dry out so it's not holding moisture. Alright. We'll come over here. Bedroom. You turn on these lights in the middle over here. I'm going to not so it shine you. And you do have dual outlets and USB outlets on either side. A clicking light above the bed. Emergency exit window right here. Lift up. Boom. If you're going to use it as a regular emergency, push it out. Grab here, yank the screen off, and then dive out the window. Yeah, very simple. This is Jeff. You do have some storage underneath your bed as well. Right down in here. Then you have your manual cranks. One of them is going to be a manual backup crank for your stabilizers, which you use on this side. One will be a backup for your tongue jack. Coming over here, more outlets, USB ports. This folds down right here. Got cup holders, and then this turns into a bed. Lift up. Do you have storage underneath here? Out and flat. Boom, just like that. Over here turns into a bed as well. Lift the table up, pop them legs out. The table will rest on these little bumpers. And you take these cushions, lay it flat, and you have a spot to sleep on. Spots them on a TV with power. One of these is a booster. It's kind of hard to read. The other one is the antenna power. If you're going to use your antenna, have that on. If you're using cable, have it off. The other one is Wi-Fi. You have to pay to have the Wi-Fi kit installed. Radio, super simple. Volume knob there. Change your channels forward and back here. You can select your band, AM, all your different FMs for your presets. Push and hold these to save presets. You can go clock, tap this, auxiliary in for modes. Pair, you can Bluetooth your phone to this and listen to your own music back to radio. You have USB, that's just for charging, and then auxiliary, if you have an auxiliary cord, you can hook your phone up to there. Super simple radio. Cooktop, super simple. All you gotta do to use it, turn it to the flame. Twist the sparker, she lights right up. Excuse me. If you want to use your oven, it works a little differently. Turn that to the flame, push and hold. As you're pushing, holding, you're looking down in here for a pilot. Once that pilot is, as you're pushing and holding that, you're looking at that pilot, twist this. Once the pilot is lit, you can then turn it to your desired temperature. When you're done, if you turn it to the flame, it shuts the burners off, but leaves the pilot on. Recommend turning it all the way off before you go to bed. And you do have a nice light for the knobs, which also turns on the oven light. Microwave works just like your standard microwave at home, only works when you're plugged in. Other than that, pretty simple like your normal microwave. Fan here, and a light. Definitely recommend using this fan if you're going to cook on the countertop. Fridge is super simple. You got one button, on or off. So its only mode is auto. So turn it on, push and hold. Oop, there you go. Turns on. It's going to default to 110. If it were to lose power, it'll automatically switch to running off of propane for you to save your food. These do not work like your normal household fridge. These do take anywhere from 10 to 12 hours to get to operating temperature. Maybe a little bit less depending on the weather outside. This is all different variables for it, but keep in mind they take at least 8 hours to get the operating temperature. Right below that, your breaker box. All your breakers for your 10 volt appliances. All your fuses for your 12 volts. So you have all 15s and 240s. Definitely recommend getting some spare fuses, just in case. Got a carbon monoxide and propane gas alarm. That's hardwired to the 12 volt system. There's no batteries you have to worry about changing. However, if that battery by the tongue starts to die, that'll start getting low voltage chirps. If that were the case, plug the camper in and get it charged. You got a smoke alarm. Those do take 9 volt batteries. So if those start chirping at you, throw a new 9 volt in it. And then you have a smoke alarm right there. All 3 of those safety appliances have a 10-year lifespan, so in 10 years, if replace them regardless of whether you've ever used it. AC is super simple. You don't have heat. That's just optional. That's going to be your AC. That's going to run your AC. This will just run the fan portion of it. And then temperature. Remember, like I said, it's not heat. It just means it's the warmest the AC will be. Thermostat for your furnace. Even simpler. You got a button and a knob and basically a lever. Turn this over. Click it over. Turns your furnace on. This down here is how you adjust the temperature. Bunks. You got lights in each bunk as well as dual USB ports in each bunk. Bathroom. Very, very simple. The bathroom is what has the the resettable GFCI in it. So if any of your GFCIs would have tripped, this is the outlet you come in and hit the reset button on. Light switch for in here. Shower is super simple. Hot, cold, turn these on and then pull this up. And then your water will come out your shower head. You do have a fan here. Definitely recommend opening this and running your fan while you take a hot shower. You just don't want any moisture staying on these walls for too long. And then your toilet is simple. Got a pedal right here. As long as you're pushing it down, it's going to keep flushing. Alright, that's it for the bathroom. And that pretty much concludes our virtual tour of your Coleman. Hope you guys found this video informative. Hope you guys really get good use out of these trailers. I like these Colemans. They're small, but they got a lot of storage and they sleep a lot of people. So, get good use out of this trailer, enjoy it, and goodbye.